Hello guys, it is time for another U2 album. I have arrived at October. Unfortunately, it is not October. It's May, which truly saddens me because October is my favorite month and autumn is my favorite season. But I digress. I have no idea what to expect besides Gloria, the opening track, which I reacted to a few months ago, I believe. I forget how long it's been, but yes, I have watched the music video for Gloria. And on that note, we're gonna get straight into it, so if you'd like to see the full-length version of this video, you can do so on my Patreon, which is linked in the description. Alright. By the way, I am currently looking at the lyrics. I am remembering how much I loved the bass on this song. That was an incredibly satisfying instrumental break. I mean, that is the perfect opening track, and I feel like the first track being called Gloria is setting the tone for the album, because despite my monotonous demeanor, I could not be more excited to listen to the rest of this album. Like I said, for me, that mixture of Bono's gorgeous vocals, especially during the chorus, and the bass, are what make this song so great. Oh, and Gloria is a very appropriate title, because sonically the song feels like a celebration. But let's see what else is in store. I Fall Down. Oh, whoa. Very cool background vocals. Okay, if we're gonna get some sort of instrumental break on a majority of these tracks, I'm so down for that. Okay, for I Fall Down, it was the instrumentation overall that got me more than anything. And yes, I'm gonna say it, the bass, the frickin' bass, once again, blew my mind. But I also really loved the drums. As far as the lyrics go, gonna be honest, I didn't really understand what was going on, and I don't want to look up anything because I don't want to spoil my interpretations of each of these songs. All I'm gonna say is I don't know the nature of Julie and John's relationship, but Julie sounds a little depressed, and it certainly led me in a romantic relationship direction because it felt like they were saying in the first verse that Julie was leaving John. But who knows? Well, you guys probably do. I sure don't. So I will wait to hear from you all. Let's keep this going. I threw a brick through a window. I'm intrigued. That friggin' vocal flip. He did it again! Okay. Don't ask me why, but I have the strongest feeling. This song sounds incredible live. These are easily the craziest drums yet. If only you guys could see the furious foot tapping I'm doing right now. I can't help but feel like when they were creating this track, Larry asked them how intense they wanted the drums to be, and everyone responded with yes. I feel that's the only logical explanation for what I just heard. The lines, no one is blinder than he who will not see, no one is blinder than me, really stuck out to me, because that sounds to me like someone who's being stubborn. Overall, I'm getting a sense of a personal struggle as opposed to the previous track where someone else is struggling. Vague, very vague, I know, but again, I'm just sharing whatever comes to mind. So that was off the top of my head. And honestly, intentionally not researching these songs is making me even more eager to hear what you guys have to say. So should be fun, but great song overall. All right, Rejoice. Okay, wait a second. That cannot be a coincidence. Or can it? This is the third track in a row that's mentioned someone falling. That's so interesting. I think I'm relating a little too strongly to some of these lyrics. Ugh, the guitar tone is so dreamy. Yeah, that's my favorite so far. That is my favorite. I can't quite figure out if he's saying rejoice sarcastically or if he is genuinely saying I should pretend everything's okay in the world. That sounded like an existential crisis. And I relate, especially hearing Bono repeat, and what am I to do? Just tell me what am I supposed to say? Obviously, those questions are rhetorical in the context of this song, but I am constantly asking myself those questions. There is no doubt in my mind, at least some of you who are watching can relate as well. In addition to that being the most relatable lyrically for me, it's also my favorite sonically so far. Let's see if it gets topped. Ooh. I am loving this instrumentation. Especially this groove. Another instrumental break. It just keeps getting better. Okay, I cannot wait to actually do a little research on this album and figure out why falling has been mentioned in so many songs. It's either on purpose or the most incredible coincidence ever. Those are the only two options, but my goodness, did I enjoy that song sonically. So my immediate thought would be the song is referring to feeling anger. I mean, when someone says there's a fire in me, they are either extremely angry or they're just fired up in a positive way and, very inspired. Bottom line is, I loved it. Another potential top track for me. Oh my gosh. I can't think of the name of that instrument. It's killing me. But it sounds beautiful. Well, you did recently mention that you threw a brick through a window, so not trying to be accusatory, but I don't know if the Fitz shoe. Okay, I was wondering if we were building towards something. First of all, that's easily the most haunting song yet. A stellar vocal performance from Bono. I felt a strong sense of longing in his voice, which for me made them bringing back the religious themes at the end of this song even more interesting, because now I'm wondering if that ties back into Gloria, the opening track, and it's also got me wondering if there were religious themes in some of the previous tracks that I just missed, because if so, that could possibly explain some of the things I was a bit confused by. Another lovely track, and again, did not expect it to get so big towards the end, but loved that gradual build. Title track, October. Also the shortest song. And the trees are stripped bare of all they wear. What do I care? October and kingdoms rise. Well, that felt more like an interlude than anything, but nonetheless, it was beautiful, especially that piano. Gorgeous. And those last few lines are really grabbing my attention. October and kingdoms rise and kingdoms fall, but you go on and on. Now I'm just going to be wondering if he's talking to God, like every time I'm confused. But honestly, to me, it kind of makes sense that he would be talking to God here, because the trees being stripped bare of all they wear, and him saying, "What do I care?" feels to me like a metaphor for turmoil going on in the world, and him possibly wanting to ignore it. You know what? Makes sense in my head. I'm gonna run with it. With a shout, Jerusalem. Cliche, I know, but I'm I'm just freaking out over Bono's vocals once again. I think every time Bono does a forced vocal flip into his falsetto, my life gets extended by a year. I am fully convinced. That song, more than any of the others, has made me want to immediately revisit this album after my first listen and go back to the tracks I was a little confused by, looking at them, well, listening to them through a religious lens now. I don't know why, but for some reason it just took me a bit longer to realize just how much the religious themes were continuing throughout this project. But I'm here now, I think. I'm awake, I think. Even if I am incorrect about every single thing I've said, I will not let that take away from how much I'm enjoying this album sonically. I think my favorite lyric from With a Shout would have to be, "We were filled with love," because that's exactly how I felt listening to it. Just felt very joyous, very celebratory, very lighthearted. Even if that's not exactly what's going on lyrically, it was still lovely to listen to. Stranger in a Strange Land. I love that reverb on his vocal. You know, something else I failed to consider is that some of these songs could be from someone else's perspective. You know, I would absolutely love to just watch them record songs in the studio. I may actually look into that after this. But I say that just because, well, for one, I'd love to see their process firsthand, but also I'd just love to watch how Bono attacks these songs vocally, because I would imagine it's quite a different experience from watching him perform live. On stage he lets loose, but I would imagine in the studio, he lets loose in a much more intentional way. I think that makes sense. I will forever be fascinated by how he's able to belt out these notes that sound 50% like this beautiful resonant note and 50% like a guttural scream, and somehow he makes it work. Wow. He's so far back in the mix. Definitely on purpose. I think if you can listen to that without getting goosebumps, you should be concerned. For me, that was extremely on the nose because that song felt like he was rejoicing the entire time, and in a way that felt like another interlude, which is making me believe even more that all of the songs on this album are closely tied together. Also loved Scarlet because it gave me a bit of a folk vibe. Not overwhelmingly, but subtly. With the instrumentation, there was a subtle folk vibe, in my opinion. Is that all?
It's so amazing, and I would play it again and again and again and again.
I think I've been so distracted by these last few tracks I didn't even realize Is That All was the last track. What an interesting album closer, because that track felt like frustration to me, and I feel like it's rare to hear an album end on a frustrating note. Of course it happens, but didn't see that coming, and it's even more interesting now that I'm thinking about the first track being Gloria. Those felt like polar opposites. So clearly we went on quite the journey here, and it was extremely entertaining, a bit confusing for me at some points, but very enjoyable, and has only made me even more of a U2 fan. But also, guys, let me know your honest thoughts on the way I went about this. I purposely went into this album as blindly as possible because I'm not as distracted by having some advanced knowledge on what I'm listening to. For me, going in blind makes me really want to focus in on the music, and I have absolutely no problem admitting when I don't know what the hell is going on. As you can see, that was the case multiple times here, but like I said, I don't let that detract from my listening experience. And also, that's when you guys come in to help me out, which you all have done numerous times before, and I'm always very grateful. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you all have to say. My current top 3 tracks would have to be I Fall Down, Rejoice, and Fire. Honorable mention to Gloria, because, well, it's a Gloria song. That wasn't funny, and I'm sorry. Guys, let me know what you thought of this album and what your top 3 tracks are. And also, I'm ready to start my U2 concert journey, but I want to go in order as I'm doing with the albums, so I'd really appreciate it if someone could let me know which show to start with, and at what point I should start with the first show in my album journey. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!